What's going on, everybody? It is Toy Domination. Today we're going to argue. I'm just going to bring Adam right out. Adam and I, we're going to have a very special episode today.
We are. Yeah, absolutely. We've had a run of great shows together, haven't we, Famine?
And just like the merits of tabletop gaming and the merits of collecting as many coffee stir sticks for free as you can, ethically, because there's
appropriate number
that don't agree.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So, and we've got a special guest joining us tonight, haven't we? Someone we wanted to speak to for some time.
We do have a special guest tonight. We'll bring him out. We could talk about a little bit of toy news in a minute, but it's unbearably early where you are, or late, depending on what time you're exiting the club tonight. So we appreciate you being here.
Absolutely, yes.
We'll go ahead and we'll bring out tonight's guest.
The myth,
it
the
seems
legend,
like it's confusing the audience. It is confusing the audience. So.
Hi.
Who are you?
And my mother's. Welcome to the show, totally Dom. How are you?
I'm great. You know, it's funny.
Happy Thursday. We're so glad you.
We planned this gag, but I literally was texting family like, "Oh my God, I am not able to go on my laptop and I'm running late from kids soccer. You may actually have to do this show." So the gag almost turned into a real situation. And honestly, I probably would just tuned in and watched at that point.
I got he made the mistake of giving me the power. So, you know, this was a dangerous play, but I think we made it through.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks so much for being here tonight.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah. So tonight we've got Adam from The Lead Will Walk to Earth and Famine, most people recognize. And we're going to talk two topics tonight. We're going to talk builds. You guys have some cool custom 1/18th projects you want to show off. And then we're going to kind of segue or just randomly go off on a tangent of gaming. I think we've got like whether we do action verse type or whether we do your Horus Heresy campaign or whether we just do whatever else we want to do. Even world building counts into that, I would suspect as well too. So that's kind of what we're covering tonight. But before we get into that, one, thanks everyone for being here. Two, I'm talking off my phone because my laptop still hasn't fixed itself yet as I'm sitting here. But I want to give you guys a chance to be able to shout out anything from your channel or anything you've got going on. We'll start with Adam. What you got? Anything new?
Yeah, I've just released a new build video where I build some barricades, which I've used for my Horus Heresy campaign, which are these little pieces here, which are literally made out of foam, tiny pieces of foam, to try and make them as realistic as possible. So I needed something for my chaps to hide behind. And I'm also working on another video, which should be out in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So that's stay tuned.
Whenever you do those, I think Famine's the same way. Whenever I watch you guys build videos, you get to like stage 3. I'm like, oh, that looks like a great finished project. And you're like, and now stage 4. I'm like, oh, there's more. And then 5 and 6. I'm like, all right, enough. Like these all were fine like back then, but you just keep layering, weathering, and adding on. And I'm like, no, I'm going to add the rust. I was like, oh my God. Like, yeah, that was a very entertaining build project you did there. So if you haven't already checked out, everybody go check it out.
There was at a time I was concerned you were going to build a box form and start pouring small scale concrete just to finish the project. Just one more level next. Like I thought for sure you were going to have a miniature scale and weigh it out and like get them all to the same piece. So
I tried the one that you dragged home just scratched my floor. So
they're heavy. They're heavy. People in traffic scream at you when you start taking it and you hold up traffic in the morning. Yeah. I can't help your kids got to go to school early. I can't help you decided to sleep in for 5 minutes. It takes some time.
And Famine, what have you got going on your channel? Any big things?
I am, as far as big things go, I'm back on my regular streaming schedule. So Tuesday nights, I am always live streaming builds and opening toys and doing custom paintings. This week, we got the chance to paint up one of the new $7 4-inch Star Wars figures. We did SM-33 or SME from the Star Wars Skeleton Crew show. Had a really fun time doing that. Just a nice hour of chatting with the audience and painting. And also coming back Friday, making my triumphant full-time return to World Makers Consortium after my hiatus to deal with some stuff at home. So I'll be happy to be back with the boys. And just as far as the channel goes, I'm sure we'll get into it, but I've got 1,010 projects always going on because it's me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I got going on over here. Dom, how about you? How are things over on your end? What do you got coming up the pipe?
Well, thanks for having me on, and thanks for asking. So right now, I actually just did a ship video recently, and I think instead of doing one massive video, like trying to film the whole thing, I'm just gonna go deck by deck or like side by side, and just do like by side, I mean actually like port and bow or whatever, and just do 4 rooms at a time. Like, all right, that's one video, and then go to the next one, because honestly, editing is what slows down that process so much, because I take a ton of pictures. I like to narrate them, and if I don't like a picture, I have to go back and reshoot. So I'm like, this is taking way too much time. So I think shorter approach, knock out a 5-minute video, not by knock out, I mean spend a day of editing, and then go back and do another one and just have a ship series. And by the time that series is done, I'll have made upgrades in the side, so it'll be time to do another one. But that's gonna get my new thing here.
And that's honestly, that's kind of the way, it's no secret. You can check to see who I follow on here, but I follow a pretty good handful of dollhouse makers. And a lot of them will do that either with their build projects or just when they showcase their things, is they will just go room by room of their little room, film a video, put it together in like a 5 to 10 minute clip, and they'll put it in a playlist, and then they'll revisit it. And, they've got another series of, revisiting the Victorian dollhouse that we worked on and things like that. So it essentially, especially yours, because you play with the boys on yours is a big play set. So you're able to have those rooms and decorate them and make them however you want. Now that you own the place, you can, really cause chaos. So it'll be interesting to see, like, the
more chaos.
Yeah.
See what you've got built and what you've got made and the changes you'll make in the future, I'm sure.
And that's always the challenge too, is that it's not a diorama, it's played in constantly. So if I try to set the whole thing up to film it, every time I come back, I'm like, what the hell happened here? There's like a mech on top of the kitchen, and like aliens are dragged around. Like Finn had some dude murdering people, and I could follow the trail, the story that he did. I'm like, oh, he gutted these people, stole their stuff, moved this over here to the kitchen, stuffed a body in a vent. I was like, this looked really fun, but none of this is filmable, right? So I was like, I can't keep like locking down the ship to them and be like, don't touch it. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna do piece by piece and just like, Finn, don't touch these 3 rooms. Kill anybody else you want on the ship here. So
miniature washi caution tape.
Go near them.
For the rooms that you don't want them to touch, just go to the Japanese craft store or the Japanese
there you go.
And get some miniature washi tape that looks like police tape, and just all over and say, "Hey kids, it's a crime scene. We don't interrupt it. Dad has some important things going on. You'll understand when you're older. Talk to these detectives. They're going to help you out, and then you go from there."
What's really novel recently is, because usually our games are just whatever, a battle or a exploration or very kind of D&D type focus, like go find these things and unlock this relic or explore a wasteland. But recently they're like, there's this, no one's going to get this reference. I don't know why I'm wasting my time. There's a game called Roblox, and there's a Brookhaven game on there where they call it role play, but just this stupid block character. But you run around this giant town, and you could go to a police station. It's almost like kids playing house at a preschool where the play sets are pre-set up and they have all the stuff to pull out, right? So it's the same kind of thing. And Finn was like, can we play Brookhaven style on the ship? I'm like, that's what it's made for. Like, there's a cafeteria, I have a shower now, and you know what I mean? So like, I'm like, that's exactly what you're supposed to do with it. He's like, oh, so we actually made up a crew, and we just like, the story was they get woken up and they have to go to their shift, right? So I was like, hey, it's actually still dark out. There's no day or night. They're like, what? So like, we actually just played like almost a red shirt type Star Trek game where they were the crew going through the ship. I was like, there's a cargo over here. You get the bot's broken. You have to move it. Hey, the food thing's blocked up. Like just random tasks they had to go do. And of course, there's like jerks on the crew getting their way, and there's a little bit of action. But I was like, this was super fun. So it's evolved. The play style is evolving. It's really fun to keep the ship up with that.
That's awesome.
But you want to give a shout out to the chat? Now I'm going to go.
I do want to give a shout out to the chat. We've managed to make Joe leave, so now we can go through his stuff. So if anybody wants dibs on some things, start shouting it out now. We did say hello to Bjorn, but Bjorn was the first one to walk in with a Schmebby lock, and then Mudhorn also wandered in. Look at Joe. Look at Dom moving things around like he's Joe. I am clearly not Joe. It says so on my name tag. We've got our friends. We got Task Force is here today. We've got Nebulous Nexus. Hello, friend.
Evening.
And who else is in here? We had Sig, who we confused with the opening of the show.
Yeah.
So,
Purposely.
and also Bjorn just wanted you to feel thanked, Dom, that you were on your own show.
Yeah.
He did appreciate that.
Yeah.
Retro Tinker is here with us as well. We've got Fat Red Foo, who's been making the rounds on shows, helping co-host Whip Wednesday, and he's been helping out over on World Makers Consortium. That's awesome. And it's we got a pretty good haul here. And then we also got these really flattering phrases from Nebula's Nexus. The GQ models of toy collecting. He's got to be talking about me specifically and only me. But I appreciate you sharing it with everybody. The handsome Canes. So it's a pretty good audience, pretty good turnout, and we appreciate everybody and people throwing their questions in here. And also, I see Job Along in Toy City. Sith Artifacts is here, so it's a good stream.
Brian's in there.
This is even under his other account here. I wanted to see. There was a comment I wanted to grab here. Here we go. Like, did one of the characters lock their keys out of the room? No, but that would be good. I actually like that. They'd have to go through the vent space. And do you need the little boys? The TV, please. Oh, there you go. A crime scene. So T loves to do like crafting stuff. Like he loves Minecraft. He loves to be those characters in like D&D that have to like go and find things to be able to put things together. But every time I'm like, bro, I don't have the time to like build that economy, build all that out, right? It's the same thing with like a police forensics thing. I'm like, oh my God, like I got to do all my research and like do those things. So it's fascinating, but it also takes a lot of work on the DM/dads.
Somebody get some chalk and draw around a figure.
May have been dropped over here. I found a set in Gimmick, so if somebody's missing their keys, you drop them by the noodle shop.
That's awesome. Cool. Well, all right. So I got this situation handled here now. So let's talk about some builds, guys. Let's see what you guys have actually been working on. Two very talented gentlemen on here. So I know we've got a couple pictures here from Adam to go over. And I know that you guys have some stuff you want to do show and tell also. So I'm going to start with one of Adam's projects here, and then I like to go bounce back and forth. You know what I mean? To keep it kind of flowing here. So let's go with my future home. Look at that.
Yeah,
man,
the shack. Yeah.
So you know what I learned from this build and I think it was your cans video also, is that the device you used to make that corrugated metal look was a toothpaste roller.
Toothpaste squeezer, yes.
Yeah, toothpaste squeezer. What?
It's a toothpaste squeezer. Yeah, I know. I mean, who even needs to squeeze toothpaste with an aluminium?
What problem was that trying to solve, right? Like,
exactly. I'm not sure, but I don't think I want to be having that toothpaste if you need a metal contraption.
Yeah. It's like a sludge. So I don't know why Famine disappeared. I don't know if he ejected himself. But talk us through this build project here. What do you got?
Yeah, so I was trying to build something that was reminiscent of some kind of a, Flabella shanty town sort of wreck. So I started off, I was trying to find something that would be sort of light and, quite hard wearing and I could almost like throw around. So it's EVA foam, and then most of it is covered in pulse pieces of craft foam. There's a bit of cardboard, a few pieces of sort of stir sticks, Famine's favorite free resource. Obviously, and then the whole thing sort of pulled together with these pieces of basically soda cans. They're Coke cans cut up and run through the toothpaste squeezer to give small pieces of corrugated metal.
So your trick of the EVA foam, right? I've got it in my shopping cart, stayed up like a stack of these things, like 24. They're like $2 a pop though, right? And I was like, oh man, because what I really want is, and that's like that's a ton of detail put in here too, but I always call it cowboy towns, like facades, right? But I want a very fast, set it up in the garden, urban site to be able to just, to be able to play through, right? So those are perfect because you could do, 3 or even an L, like I think you've got a
you can do L shapes, for example, and you can put 2 L shapes to give you a full building.
Yeah, like these, like your blown up debris / rubble pieces too. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Now so those ones that's MDF. So that's wood, that's timber, and that was sort of taking on board, comments about people making them super durable. So that's my sort of first attempt at it. But yes, you could make L shapes and put two of them together, two corners to give you a building.
Famine, did I kick you out? Was that me?
No, sir. I
Oh,
jumped to the camera because the cell phone, because I have a better camera on here, and also I can manipulate the arm a little bit easier, and it gets a better quality from me. And again, with being the GQ, of the show, I needed to look good. So
good. Now, Adam, it's your turn to randomly just disappear from the show. Okay, there we go. Perfect. All right. So the stir stick. So I missed this episode of WMC. So was there a debate?
So it's about the appropriate quantity of stir sticks that are complementary. And
I feel in my experience that you can reasonably, without being a burden on the purchasing place that you're buying your coffee, when you go to pick up your to-go cup, you could probably get away with 10 to 15 stir sticks.
Okay.
Some people feel that's extra.
Okay.
I feel like if I'm paying $9.38 for a medium coffee, I might be entitled to some timber.
Okay.
To go with
and I feel that the all-you-eat buffet is an offer, not a challenge.
That's fair. That is fair.
You're not walking away with cargo pockets full. That's the thing. You're not like strapping it to the top of your car. So 10 to 15. All right, I get it. All right, okay.
I mean, sometimes you ask for an extra large empty cup, and you can really pack that bad boy and then put a lid on, and no one knows that you're wandering out with, you're leaving with that many. That's neither here nor there. Sometimes they're good to you, and they put it in a to-go cup, so you can just take the to-go cup from the Go Bar. But they make really good timbers for world building, for Western town, sci-fi. Yes. I do the sci-fi Western. I tend to lean more towards that aesthetic, and it works out really well. And it's a great source of cheap world building material, but also tabletop gamers use it. And I just feel it's not stealing if it's a complimentary item on a bar that is out for people to take. You can go over to get the little creamer cups and put 70 of those in your coffee. No one's going to bat an eye except for the people that are lactose intolerant that are like, wow, that's a lot of cream in your coffee. So I can't take that many stir sticks. Get out of here.
Because if they're making you pay for it, then you took them, that'd be stealing. But because they're not.
But it's factored into the overhead of the business as a consumable, and I am consuming. How many people go in there daily and just get their chai latte and sprint out the door? I'm making up the difference.
If it's not bolted down, it's free to take. I mean, that's really
that's
the
what
rule.
I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay, no, that's good.
But they're a great building material. They're fantastic.
So I actually bought a pack of bamboo. You know how you get the popsicle sticks? Everyone uses those things too. These were rectangular, so you don't have to clip off the rounded ends, and they're bamboo, which is highly sustainable, and they were dirt cheap. And I actually have them right here in reach. Hold on.
Cool.
These are stains, but they're relatively thin, right? So they're thicker than your stir sticks, though. But I'm putting them all together. Let's see if I can do this on camera here to make a bridge for Mythic Legions. Yeah, I'm failing at this, but putting a couple pieces of string here and then just gluing them together, it'll actually be a plank bridge. But they're thicker than those, which works for this scale. Maybe that wouldn't be so good for winning.
Consult with the ACOE before you do anything bridge-wise for moving heavy artillery, because that looks like it is not going to withhold.
So two of those is
your troops are going to be walking a canoe across, and it's just going to.
It's for the fantasy side. It's for Mythic Legions. There's no OSHA back then. They're fine. So, here we go. Are stir sticks like a claw machine game? It's wherever can grab one. Yes, I think that's the rule of. Yeah, there you go.
I think it's like in other situations. If you can't get your hand around it, it's probably too much to take.
Don't tell my. Never mind.
Buy my coffee at $6. Right, you're upcharging the next guy with that. All right. We've clearly touched into a very sensitive area here. So, Famine, let's rotate to you here really quick. Stir sticks aside, what have you got building here? Let's focus on.
Well, it's been a minute since your audience. I know we share some overlap, but they've been to Gimmick Starport, and I've expanded with this 2-story. Essentially, it's a glorified parking garage area for ships. Man. That's a landing platform. Nice. There will be some parking and some retail up there. And I started adding different levels and signage and doing builds along on the channel. And now that I have the entire room to expand, I'm gonna be going kind of like that Wenzilla guy. I mean, he's got a setup. It's okay. I'd like to do, I'd like to show them how to really do a whole room setup. And
Good.
I think Rad Toys is the other cat that's got one. He's got a lot in the space, but
He's
I
got
feel
a couple
like I
of
could really
places where
cram
he's got stuff.
a lot in here and really just like I'm like a bull in a china shop anyway, so it'll be good no matter what happens. People will be entertained, but it's just been a great expansion. And then creating solutions. We've been doing panel live streams where we just work on a quick panel, and I got one of those done this week and attached it from below. And from right here, it's not that noticeable, but you start to get closer, and there's what appears to be some sort of technology hanging from the ceiling, and it creates a more industrial look for the area. I'm going to be adding some more dust in to really, include that they're tracking it in. There's going to be a traffic through area for foot traffic. It's going to be good, going to be large. And also I've been expanding in the main high tower building there, starting to put in a eatery area and a place where people can gather and meet.
Nice.
And just keep filling in these layers when I can and levels when I can, and really
I wish
exploring world
I
building.
could see it though. I wish I could see it. That'd be nice.
It'd be great. I could bring you over to that.
Yeah. That's the whole point of this, It's a
Alright,
theater.
give me a
And
sec.
but we lost it. It's a theater of the mind. Just I'll close my eyes. You describe it to me. Well,
Like Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It looks like you have a cool, like, actual pattern in the back wall on one of those too. Like,
Yep. Let me flip the camera. Look at that. All right, now you guys
this
can
is good.
see
yeah, I like that.
the wall. Right,
it's
that's
good.
pretty cool.
Good. Yes, a
Sweet.
blank canvas.
Look at that. It's
This
almost
thing's
like
really
real metal or
tripped.
something. Or meal. Yeah, look.
See, there's the big room.
Oh,
But
wow.
here we go.
Yeah.
So I have been working on filling this in. Like I said, it is essentially it's a glorified parking lot right now, which is kind of what you need when you have ships coming and going.
Nice.
Cargo stashed in certain areas where people leave it or pay for it. Little vending machine area to get yourself a
The
beverage.
LED. Oh, look at that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That says Gimmick Starport on the
Nice.
scroll. And
There's vending machines too. Were the vending machines 3D printed?
this is from a gachapon ball from one of the Japanese
cool.
stores. And it is quite literally a little soda machine that works. You can push that
nice.
round gold button there,
No way.
and a soda comes down.
No way.
That's it. I might have taken the soda can out, but yeah, it's an actual little working vending machine, and you can open it and fetch the soda out of it.
Oh my.
And there's an opening in the back to refill it.
Amazing.
So, and then I've just got some Jason Jensen panels that I put together there from his kits.
Oh yeah, fun.
Those things always come out great. A little fueling droid I built years ago.
Oh, nice.
And then the upper level is just currently it's kind of holding some stuff, but I put a starship up there to see. That's an old 112 diorama that I'm repurposing. It's just living up there to take up space.
Yeah.
Like I said, we've got the restaurant district that we're working on here.
That's where everyone in the station can get their stir sticks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, there you go. There's the pattern I was talking about. What's the deco on that back wall there? Yeah.
That
Well,
one
that was
there,
that panel you
is
did on the live stream.
That is foam. That is EVA foam from a refrigerator back, I believe. And I just painted it, sealed it first because it's that, not EVA foam, XPS like this.
XPS,
Yeah.
So it's packing foam.
Yeah.
And it's just, it had these nice little dimples in it. And I said, well, I'm not going to waste that opportunity for free
that's
texture.
great.
And a coat of Mod Podge or two, and then started to stack the paint on little texture with some surface paints. And it creates a really cool industrial looking background.
Nice.
And then over here, I just hit it and made it appear rusty.
I like the yellow. Yeah, the yellow looks really cool.
Yeah.
Pops.
Made different panels and installed those over here. So, with my space pirates.
Nice.
I like the so pan to your right there, and like how does it wrap around? Yeah, there you go. Oh, look at the I see. Okay, I see. Yeah, I see where we're connecting it to.
And made a little bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And that's good and fastened to my house forever until I get a sledgehammer to knock that down. But that was another section that we did on a live stream, just another panel, and we put a door from Aegis Station. I kit bashed that locking mechanism there on a live stream just out of cardboard.
Oh, nice.
So, and
You
just
get a lot
various
of
other.
lot of compliments here for you. Amazing work, super cool, amazing. Yeah, great. Yeah, looks great, Famine. Yeah, a lot of compliments here.
Well, that's obviously again because of my good looks.
Okay.
That's a gerbil house there that's being turned into a basically a Jawa stand for them to sell their goods out of.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's great. I was getting distracted. Nothing better than just dead noise, but I was getting distracted trying to look at like the next part. What's down below there? Yeah, you got the turrets, and then here you go. This is
another
surface level.
That's a ground level. It's going to connect to this, but
Yeah, nice.
Again, just different buildings, things that I've been working on. I set aside. I also did finish this. I just haven't attached it, but it's a raised landing pad that can be an offshoot, like a wart off of a. Off of any of those. And because it's a landing pad and you're going to see it mostly in photos from below, we just loaded this thing up with Greeblies.
I was about to say that's a lot of work for landing pad, but that makes sense. And you can attach it with magnets. The power of magnets.
I could. And see, that's the thing is it sticks out, but it's still concise. It helps frame out shots, makes it look nice, and I don't know, I could put it elsewhere.
Really cool.
Wow, great work.
Thank you. Yeah, now I'm going to switch the camera back to my beautiful face because, that's what's necessary in this time is, how do I make this look best? And it's me. That's how you make it look best. So
that's much better. That's the detail on that is incredible.
You're also the most humble too, which I think is the best thing, right? That's like,
I'm very humble. I'm very talented. I do my best to be charming. I'm really talented, and I really appreciate that people recognize that for me.
And if they don't, you'll fill that space up. All right, so Adam, what do you got? Oh, this is more that bunker build here.
Yeah, so I sort of I got invited by a friend of mine to join in a Horus Heresy campaign with Joy Toy action figures. So an opportunity to play games with action figures, and I was like, count me in straight away. So I've been building out a 6x4 by 4 foot table that we're going to be taking to some shows and conventions either later this year or into next year, and building sort of ruins and these barricades and all sorts of pieces, copying some of the terrain from tabletop gaming, but from sort of I think it's 3rd edition, the system. Most of it have been creating out of EVA foam, so I've been sort of playing around with it. I did a bit of cosplay, and I've used EVA foam in the past, so I sort of thought I'd try and make those things. But using essentially, those car mats or those mats you get that sort of go in gyms, and then turning them into cityscape ruins.
Man, look at that.
And trying to get the details in them with the rust and the sort of pieces of junk all over it, and a few timbers, and there's a couple of stir sticks in there as well.
Only a couple.
Yeah, exactly. You got to throw some of those in.
Now, Adam, I don't know who distributes I believe it's Yaya Han cosplay foam that we used to get here in the States, but I found this makes a great sci-fi pattern.
That's incredible.
For roofing, and it's EVA foam. It's very dense. I recommend if you can pick some of this stuff up from the Yaya Han line.
Yeah,
it'd be good for that.
Wait, hold on. First of all, it's hexagon, so automatically sci-fi win.
Science fiction, yes. Yeah, cyber.
How thick is it?
That is, I want to say 5 mil thick.
Okay, all right. So not quite walls, but good enough for like internal or like a texture on the outside. So a layer on the outside.
But back to back, it would be 10 mil.
Okay.
I've actually used it on the roof here.
Yeah, nice.
Oh yeah, that looks. Oh yeah. That's
and so it's supposed to be a light collecting cell. I thought that was my genius marketing idea.
Instant
and that's just the roof on a building.
Wait. So hold on. So I can't tell where. Did you shave off the texture? Where's the actual thickness of it? Let me hold it so I can see the thickness. There you go. Oh, so that's the actual. Yeah. Oh yeah, that is good. Did you do 2 there, like Adam said, or is that just 1? Because it looks like there's a line.
It's just 1 glued on.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And then I hid the edges with a piece of stir stick.
Okay.
But back here, you can actually see the thickness. Okay. It's 5 mil, so it's about half of that, and it's just on top of basically it's a blank birdhouse type lid.
Yeah.
And I just slapped it on there with some glue.
That's smart. Oh, yeah.
Sweet.
Okay.
And it's rugged, for the people that really are like, hey, I like world building, but I want to make these like this. This is a solid wood thing.
Yeah.
It's got a block of insulation foam to give it some height on the bottom.
Yeah.
And I just hit it with paper, corrugated paper. And Adam, the tube roller that you have,
Yeah.
it's also, I found, used by oil painters to get the most of the oil paint out of there.
Yeah.
So not just toothpaste, not just toothpaste.
Oil paint. Yeah. So I use some oil for weathering, but I only use the smallest amount. So I don't think I'll ever get to the bottom of my raw umber.
Yeah. This what Nebula Nexus said the same thing earlier there too, was oil.
Yeah.
So 2 things really quick here. So one, for the chat, if you're home right now, I don't want you to be out driving, but every time stir sticks is said, you have to take a shot. And second, I think we have surpassed the 10 to 15 per visit mark, unless you drink a lot of coffee. I'm going to start keeping count here. So, that's really cool. So, and then Adam, just as a comparison, can you hold up the foam piece you just showed too? Because I'm trying to, just like in real life, I'm trying to measure the thickness. Yeah. Okay. So that's okay. So 2 pieces together.
Yeah. These walls are 2 pieces of that mat. So I think they're about close to 10 mil. So it's it's close to 20 mil in terms of that. There'll be a bit of adhesive in the middle of that as well. So something along those lines. So that's what I'm using. I used it a single layer, and then I put some craft foam on it originally, which if I grab this was the first piece I made.
Yes, yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
and I did actually put a thin layer on the inside, but what I found is certain lighting conditions, you can sort of see the texture, and I don't know if you can see it with this light.
Yep.
So I switched to using 2 layers of it, back to back, which works out to about 20 mil. And with the Warhammer,
you keep
figures,
saying mil, so that's millimeter. Can you give it to me in measurements of peanuts? Or how many footballs?
It's one shelled peanut. In thickness.
Yeah.
Okay. So not quite a dolphin, but anything other than the metric system is how Americans measure things.
It's a third of an inch.
Other than 5.56.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. Except for some reason, munitions, but not all of them, because the rest we go to calibers. I'm like, what the hell are we doing here? Yeah. So anyway, no, there you go. Yeah, good call. And then we also we shoot in metric, right? We're like, hey, millimeters, but then we do yards, and then we also alternate to meters again. I'm like, what are we doing out here?
What?
Okay. Yeah, we'd be drunk already. Yeah, perfect. Hey, what's up, buddy? Okay, all right. No, that's great. And Famine, sorry, you had something before I was talking about our American ignorance here. You held up something.
No, I was just showing you. I have a chunk of that foam as well, and it's good and rigid at that thickness. Yeah. But also you double that up and you've got some really solid foam walls for play.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm,
and you can throw them about.
That's the thing. So I also need them. I'm sure everybody's been watching, Nassau Station, Lockdown Productions, right? I can't remember which one he goes through, right? But he's been showing these builds he's doing out in his garden, like every day. There's just like a new whatever he's got. He's like the junk man collectible. He's always getting foam stuff out there. But I keep messaging him like, hey, are you worried about weathering of the stuff that's out there too? Because like in Virginia, if I leave figures or vehicles out there, I'll come back in and there's like puddles of plastic. You know what I mean? Like they're all like, it's like that. So I need the buildings to withhold. Like right now we're going through all this rain. So a lot of my wood construction, I'm finding exactly which paints were not waterproof because the buildings are like crumbling apart. So I need stuff that's durable. It's waterproof. It's fine enough with detail. So I'm leaning towards this foam stuff. People just, but I also need perpendicular as well, right? So it's great to have walls, but I need platforms to be able to stand on as well too.
Yeah.
So
that's my next sort of my next step in this is actually creating multi-layered things.
I
did share with you that sketch on an idea of some multi-layered and pattern buildings, so that you could sort of take one pattern and then make multiple faces, fascias and endpoints, so that you can make L shapes or squares, rectangles of similar patterns, so you can just throw a load of buildings together quickly.
Yep. And how you seal it, Adam knows, I'm sure from cosplay and whatnot, is how you seal your work. The foam is 90% of what it's going to withstand. So if you seal it up well, it's going to shed water off of a duck's back. If you don't, you're going to wear it to an event and sweat in it and then take it off and wonder why it's 20 pounds and why it smells all the time.
No.
So that's like a rule when you work with foam for cosplay is you got to seal it. But, you know, you seal these up, they seal up great, and it's going to hold up a long time. Now it's going to take less dense than like XPS foam insulation would, like this here.
Yeah.
You know, that's that blue wall insulation foam. So I think about my thumbnail going across it. It's on there, but with like a piece of foam, it's not showing up on there. So you wind up with a little bit of a tougher thing. So yeah, there's the opportunity there.
Yeah, you might have to weight it down because I think if you get a wind, so you know, because it's quite light, it might blow away.
Oh yeah. That's so, and like the wood. We had some really bad storms here and a tree knocked down, but that village was still standing. I was like, all right, that's good. Yeah, that's a good point.
Good.
So, all right, cool. Well, I missed it. What was the number one question for me? Or maybe I had a number one question. I don't know. I'm very confused. And then the barrel vid. Oh, wait. So one thing about this, though, these teeny little beads that you put in there, that was the piece where I was like, Adam, stop. Just enough already. Like you're like, oh, I forgot to add these things. I'm like, what the hell? Like, and
rivets. You can't make something for Warhammer without rivets.
Yeah. It's sci-fi, dude. It's got
I know.
Rivets.
Gotta have rivets and hexagons. Yeah, I know. It's
so I bought. So these were little half beads, but I've also bought some self-adhesive beads from a craft store, and they were just loads of little crystal beads and everything. So I bought a load of those to just
so I have gems that are like on a sticker back, and I spray paint them while they're on the sheet, and then I start putting them around for but those are self-adhesive and they're not the micro scale you were using on. Let's see,
look at those. Perfect. But if you're not using self-adhesive ones, you just need to put a little bit of PVA glue or Mod Podge or whatever, and then when they're small, you can literally pick them up. You lick the paintbrush and you can pick them up with a paintbrush.
And then
I like other people's paintbrushes when I'm doing that. I do my own thing, but otherwise I just I get a couple of licks in for fun.
Yeah, I got banned from like those painting groups for doing that.
What is that? Is that why they have what's called the Adam Law?
Yeah, it's how you're doing it, Adam. It's how too much rolling the tongues and too long across the.
It was the eye contact.
Yeah, that's it too. I can feel your heat. It's like too much. It was too much. So, all right. And the last thing here, I think some barrels.
Yeah. So these are those toxic waste barrels. You know, toxic waste.
Candy.
Yeah, that candy. The candy that says toxic waste, which is kind of nice but slightly disgusting. But I wanted to try and create a load of barrels and have something for like in war games you often have a sort of a load of oil or a fuel or something which is an objective. So I picked up a load of these. I just picked up some boxes off of Amazon. I think I got the whole thing for about £12.
All the sugar.
All the sugar. I ate some of them, but not the rest. There was too many of them. But all I wanted was the barrels. So a few of them I heated up with a heat gun to give them, to break them down and sort of bend them over, etc. And then sprayed them various colors. Had to sort of rub them down and make sure they were really clean to get the paint to adhere and get a good primer on them. But they just treated them like everything else and wore them. You've got you're using something very, very abrasive. Is that like a Brillo pad or something?
Yeah,
I think like that.
Gosh, right. 3M pads here in the States, and they're just basically like the part of a scour sponge without the sponge.
Okay.
And it's great for the shine. Any plastic that's really shiny like that, it's crappy plastic, and it's not going to hold your paint unless you abrade the surface. So like Adam said, take the time to wipe them down, clean them, and then scrub them so that your paint sticks, because you don't want to waste your time. You know what I mean? You put the work into that, and then you get the project inside, and the paint's coming off. You get frustrated. You don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. And as someone who grew up with Tamiya model kits, I had to put the Valvoline on there because
for the petrol. I'm so brainwashed by video games that as soon as I saw this, I like shoot them, they blow up, right?
Shoot them, they blow up.
It's instantly. It's like I've been playing Doom, like the old Doom, like Doom 2. We downloaded the Switch, and I'm playing it with Tristan, who's 10. So we swapped the controller back and forth, and it's awesome seeing a 10-year-old love Doom because he was like, "What is this?" And you start playing. It's like, "This is so fun." And we see barrels you know, they're just like these huge explosions. Like, yes, that's where that came from. My brain. Barrels blow up, of course.
Yeah.
Like, and you put them everywhere throughout wherever your facility is.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's a control room. There's a barrel there, like obviously. So.
Yep. Office space.
Yeah,
barrel.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, bathroom, 3 barrels. Like, yeah.
For me, it was fun. the light shooter at the bowling alley's arcade for Area 51.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
There you go. Yeah.
There were barrels of diesel fuel at the gate post of Area 51. 3 barrels stacked on either side. Like, come on, you're asking for an intruder at that point. Like, but that game just always stuck with me because it's like you turn a corner, barrel, bathroom, 3 of them stacked on the toilet. Like, it made no sense.
Shoot it. Yep. So what else you guys? We're actually hitting 40 minutes right now. I'm actually shocked at how much time that's. Yeah. So, do you guys have any other things you want to show off here? Aline, what's up, buddy?
I tell you what, one thing I am about to work on. So I've got a vehicle I'm going to be working on next, and I've just started that. But one thing I am going to be doing is building some more pieces of terrain for Action Burst. And I've just picked up one of these Star Wars pieces. And then what I'm going to do with it is extend it into the bar. And I can't remember the name of the scenario, Dom, but for the scenario in Action Burst.
Oh, awesome!
Where the crew goes into the bar and finds themselves some trouble.
Oh, that's fantastic. Wait,
so I'm going to extend that out, add some tables, add some areas in the bar, sort of pick up, what some of the other people in the community have done with bars. I've got those little stools and, put the tables in and dispense.
Soldiers getting in trouble in a bar on their own?
Yeah, can you imagine?
No.
Bar fight!
No.
Where
did that piece originally come from? The Star
Wars that's the I think that's the Star Wars it's the
Navarro Cantina.
Navarro Cantina, yes.
Okay. Oh, right. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. Love playing it.
The main reason I wanted it was for the bar and the stools and the little sort of things that go on the counter in the bar, because I have picked up a few of the Doll's House pieces to add into the scenes. I think we've all done that, haven't we? We've all sort of, bits of food and Coke cans and all those types of things.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be building a sort of a full table bar shortly.
Yeah, I've been buying the little plates and bowls and things like that, and just making adornments and garnishments, embellishments, as you would say.
The Doll's House stuff is amazing
and
super cheap as well.
It's so the trick with that is like I'll go to eBay or AliExpress, whatever like that. I'm like, I want 1/18th, and it doesn't that doesn't always scale out exactly. Yeah. So I'm like, well, and I don't remember what I fudged. Maybe it was like 1/16th or whatever the Dollhouse scale is. And sometimes I'll get it and spot on, and other times, even for O-ring figures, it's either too small or it's gigantic. It's not quite. It's a hit or miss, and I feel like it's by brand /seller.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you guys pinpoint that, or if you just play the crapshoot that I do.
I don't buy any of it online. I make those purchases I make by sight. Like, I look at them and I'm like, okay, that will scale well, or I can justify a big bowl that's probably for a small, this is probably for 112
family style
out of.
It's family style.
118, I can throw some of the, I've got a bunch of those black chrysanthemums on clearance, so I can fill it with his fruit that he came with and have a big bowl of fruit on a vendor's table. So I can justify that. But if you were to give me like a 112 laptop, that would look like a whole computer console for 118, and I'd have to think, okay, this really looks like a laptop right now. Can I bust this apart and use the screen as a monitor elsewhere and try and come up with that? So
does Hobby Lobby still have, so whenever I go to Michael's, I think is the only thing we have here, it's such sparse, very few things that are always kitschy, little puppy dogs or a little girl pouring out the salt or what, I don't know, it never seems to be enough actual stuff that I can use to fit into world building. It's like a set of golf clubs. I'm like, yeah, I get it. I can't keep having that many golf clubs in my stuff.
It's for the indoctrination. They want the little girls to buy those doll houses so that they can have little cooking dinner and stuff. So,
but Hobby Lobby. So where do you go to find these things in person then?
Yeah.
I go to Joanne. Well, I was going to Joanne, but now Michael's also has them. There is a couple of local, how they've survived through a pandemic and through 20 years.
I see.
I don't know. But there are local dollhouse places around here.
Huh.
And then also yard sales, flea markets, sometimes I don't even look in the doll sales, the dollhouse stuff. I had a Christmas ornament that I purchased that's a rocking chair, and it fits 118 perfectly. I had to pop the arm off to fix it, which I've got right there sanded.
Yeah,
but it fits Star Wars 118, and it also fits that 4-inch.
Wow.
You know, that little bit bigger, but you can put somebody in there and have them sit very comfortably, and it was just a Christmas ornament.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that fits the world building, and it's just finding these things and looking at them.
If I could inject one thing into your world right now, right, and you don't have to take this, I won't be insulted, but if you gave that to like the dock worker who's sitting at the space landing there, and he's the guy rocking the chair waiting for the ships to come in, that would be phenomenal. It'd be like that. Yeah. You know, it's like a little bit of redneck mixed in with with
a stir stick in his mouth.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, just like chewing on the stick while he's waiting for the ships to come in. Great.
The guy that has worked there since they built the wall.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like when you go into a Podunk airport in the like middle of Missouri or something like that, too, you're like, oh man, you are all the jobs at this one airport. I get it now. So, yeah.
Over here on the East Coast, you know, with being right against New England, there's always that guy at every place. Like if you stop at a gas station in Massachusetts in like a town smaller than Boston, that guy is at the gas
Hey, Ralph.
Yeah. You go to get your car worked on somewhere in like Maine. That guy is the dude behind the counter that's taking your order and looking at you funny because you're using a credit card instead of cash, even though it's 2025. Like it's.
Oh sure, I recall that. Storm came through here at 5. Yeah. No.
Back in the day.
Yeah. Front porch on a desert planet. There you go. Yep.
Yeah.
Some Barbie stuff is Mochi scale. Oh, that's right. Interesting. I'm gonna go swing by Michael's again. I'm actually gonna Google. I'm very curious to see if I like Google dollhouse or something. If there's a smaller town around here that would have that, that'd be interesting. So cool. All right. What we're topping the hour here. I've got a couple pickups I want to show this week, and there's a few pieces of news I want to get into, but I don't want to cut off. Do you guys have anything else you want to show? Because this has been fascinating.
Ooh,
no, if you don't have anything on hand, it's okay. So I have an oopsie here that I started here. Hold on, I'll grab.
Oh, oopsie.
I don't know if I showed this before or not. This may be a little hard with the lighting here. Hold on, I'm gonna go to zoom myself here. But okay, so I started modifying this vehicle. It's a Rolling Thunder. Ooh. And so it accidentally went blood red. I thought I got like a rust. Yeah, it is a blood red, right? So and I started modifying things, and then I started adding up armor to the side panels here, right? And I added I closed off these hatches because I was like, I can't stand that. And then I had skirts on here too. So actually, let me see if they're still in here. So it was just cardboard or cardstock on top of cardboard, and then they act as ramps, right? So just making some easy modifications here to it. But as soon as I started spray painting, it came out this blood red. Oh, there's seats on the inside. That was the other thing I did too. Yeah. So these ink cartridge pieces are great for drops. Yeah. So I've got tons and tons of these, right? So
I shared them on Wit Wednesday.
Yeah, those are great. So they're lined at the inside, but as soon as I hit the outside with this blood red, I was like, I cannot keep going. So I had to wait. And then I went and got an actual rust one. Oh, and these are from the bridge layer that I put on, a little more modest than the giant. Like the original ones, you like sat a figure in and he had a quad. I was like, no, let's just put a small, anti-tank. So, and then found some, I think I stripped these off the McFarlane, that ridiculous mech suit that's open cockpit here. So it's got belts and belts of ammo for the inside. Yeah. But as soon as I hit it with the wrong color, I was like, oh my God. I shelved it. And then I recently came across the can of spray paint. I was like, why did I buy this cool rust red? So I started like spraying other things. I was like, oh my God, I remember what I bought this for. And I like went back there and like dusted it off. I was like, you poor thing. So I actually filmed the video of it and I stopped because as soon as I hit the red. So I think what I'm going to do is release it as like a oh shit, and then actually finish it and then release a second video of it too. But I just resurrected this bad boy. It's like I owe this beast, a proper finish here. So
I know sometimes you grab a can and you think it's going to be this color and you go,
I was like, and of course I was like, well, because it was wet. I was like, it'll dry, rust, right? Yeah, I'll just keep layering this on more and more. So it does look like Blood Angels, and like Joe said the same thing. He's like, "Oh man, it could just be like." I think T or Joe were like both on the same page. Like, "Oh, it could be a cool Fanatics," and like I was like, "Yeah, but that's not what I actually."
That's not you intended.
Yeah, it's not what I want, right? I have to put all these skulls.
Cobra!
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I put all these skulls and stuff on there. So, yeah, I lived there too. I lived out in the middle near Fort Leonard Wood, lost in the woods. So, cool. All right, gents. Let's do some news. Famine, do you know where the thing is? Do you want to be able to push the news button since you have a control?
I'll let you push the news button.
Are you sure? It's fun.
Remember, I'm on mobile right now, so.
Oh, okay. All right, right. Did it get? There we go. Now?
There we go.
Okay, that was weird. Good voice. Oh, you
The
rebel.
pirates.
Hey.
Dom, you have to talk to your microphone. There you go.
That's weird. Is it working now?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
As soon as I did the Q thing, it kind of like went away for a while. So, all right. I only have a few things here, and for those in the audience who are fanatics, it's all 118 this week. So let's start with Grindhouse Toys.
Yes.
This is news to me. I knew they were going to make some new stuff out there, but these look pretty cool. This is the In Hell or From Hell series they're doing.
Green Army Man.
Yeah, this is the Green Army Men, right?
World War Hell.
World War Hell. Thank you. Yeah, thanks. This one was the
says
least.
that right in the picture, Dom.
You can't read, Famine. I told you that in confidence. I love this one though. The Steamboat Willie, and all these have the alternate heads there in the bottom too. But this one just is all sorts of imaginative.
It's all sorts of horror.
Yeah, it's great. It's got a lot going on there.
Yeah,
and it looks like cloth goods too, which is always a huge selling point. Now I'm gonna go through these pretty quickly.
These are O-rings, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Yeah.
They are superb.
Seeing that the Harbinger as Steamboat Willie, all I can think is putting together like a heist crew with a bunch of those Mickey Mouse heads and having them kind of like do it, like Heat with the nun outfits.
Yeah.
Like,
we just want a whole gang of Mickey Mouse heads.
Yeah, there you go. Put the money in the bag.
Yeah, the heist. There's a heist scenario.
Sergeant Gray. So I know nothing about this, right? So if anybody else does, please jump in here. But obviously, like, the classic Green Army Men style here. But this is clearly, World War II. So I don't know if this is set in World War II with demonic influences in it, sort of like a Hellboy type setting. I have no idea.
Yes, clearly Weird War II.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is supposed to be a Marine based on the camo. I can't. It's a captain though. I'm not sure what the camo is there. So maybe Marine-ish, but Captain Winchester with
is that not? Am I crazy? Is that not Flecktarn? Is that not German?
I don't think so.
Captain the Winchester.
Yeah. So it's got American captain bars on there and an American helmet, and all the accoutrement, like the 45 is all American. It does sort of match the paratrooper camo scheme a little bit, the German camo scheme, but everything else is American on it. So I'm not sure. It kind of looks like they patterned the Marine but went woodland on it instead of the tropics. So also the middle finger hands. I already love that character.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. And then here we go.
Yes.
Yes. Definitely the Revenant.
There's there's of course Red Skull obviously screams like, oh, you could use that. There's another head sculpt with I think the next figure in that line, and it's got the hooded head sculpt, so you could definitely make Cobra.
Like a Cobra Commander type. Yeah.
I want to get these. I want to get a few of these, and I'm sure they're going to cost an arm and a leg.
Yes.
Just based on current importing prices. But I'd love to obtain a few of these and strip them for parts because the extra heads, the hands that they come with, the bandoliers, the ammo belts,
3 potato mashers.
Yeah.
There's a blue transparent one that has a flame collar and a skull. that's coming out. You know, there's one whose head is a just straight blood shower, like Evil Dead.
Yep. There's
I have an Ash Williams that I've been working on in Star Wars, and I would love to have a stormtrooper with just complete blood spray coming out because he's been decapitated by Star Wars Ash. Like,
yeah, hail to the king, baby.
He gets it. That guy gets it.
Here you go. Here's Cerberus Trooper. Yep. I have that blue guy in here somewhere. Oh, did I not upload him? Nope, I don't think he made it. I know exactly who you're talking about, but I think I failed and dropped.
He's got 30 cal as well, isn't he?
Yeah, I know, right? So I know Grindhouse was at Joe Fest last year, and they had some exclusives. They sold them the DVD, or not DVD, the VHS tape. Yeah. They were a little more pricey. I can imagine, and those were exclusives, so maybe it'll come down. But you're right, fam, and these aren't going to be cheap. And it even says in there like price to be determined at the bottom there. So yeah, and then all these.
Yeah.
They're very good.
Yes, I did hit all these. So hold on, let me catch up to the comments real quick here. Oh man,
I would have thought they'd fit pretty well with the.
Here we go. Yeah, these are amazing. I want to see how the accessories fit with Marauders. So the O-ring, so there'll be a little bit of difference in there, right? But I'm sure it's barely even noticeable.
Should work pretty well.
Yeah. Sergeant Graves, my faves. Does Captain Winchester have a pint and a toasty and wait for it all?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Blockbusters logo for the packaging. Yeah. They had a cool. I passed them it. They had one horror figure. It was homage sort of to Skeletor, but had a lot more greens on it. And Bob got it. Beta Ray Bob got it, and it came in a VHS. Every time I passed by, I was like, it's a little pricey. It's like $35, but the packaging, like every time. And then I saw it and I was like, man, I should have gotten that guy. That's a really cool piece. So, all right. And then
wait, you mean to tell me that Bob got a 3 3/4 inch figure?
Yeah, it's out of nowhere, right? Yeah, just on a lark.
What?
Yeah.
All
right, right up Adam's alley.
Once a figure exists, I assume that Bob has it on pre-order. I don't.
Yeah. So who is this caution tape for? I wonder on his pauldron.
Yeah. For the enemies of the Empire.
I also so I know there's some similarities here, but of all of them, these ones definitely, and I think it's the color pattern, give me Fallout vibes, because usually they're reds, they're blues, like they're greens, they have one solid color, but this is definitely going with the right out the factory unfinished type look. Do you know the lore behind this?
I don't know a huge amount of it. These are the Iron Warriors, though, so they are. I think they're fantastic. I've seen the whole range of these, and they are fantastic figures. They are absolutely superb. But yeah, there's a lot of hazard striping, and I think it's for anyone anywhere near them.
Yeah, the Iron Warriors remind me of Full Metal Alchemist. I can't not see Full Metal Alchemist in that giant suit of armor with the faceplate, the medieval faceplate. It just
yes.
It just I can't unsee it. So for me, it's not even Fallout with the caution vibes or anything. It's just I see the lead brother from Full Metal Alchemist, and I'm like, well, now I got to make his brother, but then I also got to buy a toy dog. Yeah. And a little girl and try and sculpt his sister to upset everybody on the internet. And now I'm that guy. I'm that guy that made her. And I sit there and just make it say Edwin and upset everybody. So,
and in case anyone doesn't know the Horus Heresy, it's Warhammer 30K. So it's 10,000 years before.
That's right.
Warhammer 40K.
What are the not prefix? What are the guys who formed all the chapters? Dang it, I don't remember. Like they're gods basically, or they're saints, right? So it's not
Primarchs.
That far back. Yeah,
Primarchs.
There you go. Yeah. Primarchs. Yeah. So interesting. Yeah, dope. Looks like I might be diving to Warhammer now. Yep.
Oh yeah, they are right.
Crash Test Dummy Marines.
Yeah. Crash Test Dummy Marines.
Too small town. Yeah. Warhammer Plus. Sorry, yeah, exactly. STC Ford. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the Fallout vibe comes from it's got the stuff hanging out the back there, but really it's the color. Like I'm not used to seeing Space Marines and like really dulled down, like they go over the top of their color. So, and then here you go. Here's, good Lord, man.
Man, I want that, and I want to pop that helmet off and stick a War Machine head on there and paint it black and white and have that be
nice.
Rhodey, because that is just like he could just stay at the Air Force Base and just be anti-aircraft. That's all he's got to do.
Terminator with a storm bolter and a power fist. It's
Absolutely
dealing out some damage.
So, and I'm not a huge Power Fist fan, except when it comes to Space Marines, because I think it makes most sense, right? They're already huge to begin with, and it's like, okay, if anyone could wield those things around, and then here you go. If you didn't see Full Metal Alchemist before, I mean, that's the exact thing with that grill,
100%.
I'm not used to the Roman fan blade going the side there. I know they do like the Mohawk style, but
I have to say I wasn't really a fan of it when I first saw it, but it's grown on me over time.
Yeah. So you're getting all in on these then, huh?
So yeah, I mean, I'm currently sticking to Sons of Horus. So I've chosen my chapter. I've chosen the Sons of Horus, and I am army building with them. So, I currently have a 5-man Terminator squad, 2 5-man Marine squads, and I'm pulling together an army and building it as an army because I'm going to be playing it on the table as if I was playing Warhammer.
You sound like a real Dom there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine that. I do army building and buying multiples of things just to give them different loadouts and to have all the equipment.
But with those Joy Toy, so how much each one of those Joy Toy Marines? Like 35, 40?
I think they're probably about £30, £35.
Yeah.
If you wait and take your time, you can get them on Amazon for like $25. They'll pop up for like a day on sale. It's just a waiting game for those Joy Toy figures, because while I think that they're very certainly worth the money. I actually have a Space Marine floating around here. That is a hell of a chunk of plastic for the price. If I can get it for $25 instead of 40, I'm getting it for $25.
Or the other thing too, Adam, I don't know how, like, a lot of the promotional pack guys, like those will stay up for quite a while, right? And I know the last Infinity ones, the yellow, I don't know the names of them, like the yellow cool, very neon Evangeline type styles, like those are still out there. But other ones, like if I try and go look for the blue Infinities, those are gone, right? Or like the heavy armor, the grunt infantry, those are gone. So I don't know how the Space Marines hold up, if they're like, there's a FOMO factor for that too, or
I don't know. I mean, there is a big obviously there's a pre-built audience for Warhammer that are just collecting them to collect them. So I think they do sort of tend to sell out. Now I do know there's a couple of ranges that they've redone. So Joy Toy seem to have this thing where if something sells out really quickly, really well, they will do another run on it. If it goes in dribs and drabs and then slowly sells out, then maybe they won't do a second run.
Yeah. Too many. I feel like I'm army building armies. It's great.
Army building armies, yes. I think that's probably what the people in the campaign are going to end up doing.
I really want to get one of their 112 figures too. Like I've seen only a couple, and every time I was tricked, I thought it was 1/18th. I'm like, oh my god, but I have plenty of like 112 scale stuff that I want to mix them into, and they're cheaper than Mezco, right? So like that's kind of like the I know that's like it seems like an extreme comparison, but really for non-IP that scale, usually I like the weird. Joe goes with like the DC or Marvel lines. I like the weird stuff that doesn't have any association with it, and I feel like Joy Toy kind of scratches that itch. So cool. I'm not going to play that media thing again with the news because I don't know what it did to create a weird lag. So I'm just going to sing us out. So that's been the news, everybody. All right, cool. All right, let's cap the show up with some pickups here. What you guys got over there? What you find out in the wild?
Adam, what do you got?
So I got a couple of things I picked up. So we'll start off on the same theme. Which is my most recent purchase, which was another Terminator, Sons of Horus Terminator.
Oh, man, look at the rivets on that thing! Holy crap!
All over that. So chain fist, power fist, and a storm bolter on him. That's my first thing I've sort of picked up. That's to finish my 5-man squad.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And also, I've just picked up a couple of these higher G.I. Joe. So
Nice.
I'm really enjoying these actually.
Yeah.
I wasn't a little, I was a little unsure of them. I decided not to go in on the larger scale GI Joe, and I kind of told myself, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to leave it. But when they released those, I was like, I'll give them a go and see what they're like, and I'm actually really quite impressed with them.
I saw your picture that you had of Lady J, and I did a double take. It's like, that looks really cool. It's like really olive drabbed, her bright green, right? The only issue I have is that hat is permanently on her, right? So like, and this is like when you start head swapping, want to pop it around, right? You're just like, I'm stuck with this hatted head. So, but you could, I don't know, and you're actually the first pair of apps is, can you take a Marauder's head and pop it on a Haya body? Because that would be a game changer.
So the interesting thing, I don't know if you know this,
Marauders doesn't ship out
to the UK. So I have no idea. Unfortunately. Otherwise I would have a collection of Marauder, because that was one of the first toy companies I went, oh, this is just what I want. Oh no.
Man, that stings, Adam. I'm sorry for you.
Absolutely.
Well, here's what you got to do. You got to rack up some miles, right? Some airline miles, fly out to Joe Fest next year, and you and I will hang out at the Marauders Build Your Own table. It'll be great. So Tom, okay, thank you, Pirates. Answer is yes, Tom. Thank you. All right, cool. Man, those Terminators. I didn't know what Terminators were, and then I got the game Space Hulk, and it's only Terminators going against those things. And I was like, but for me, I was like, they're just big suited guys. But then when you look at what the Terminators are compared to the Space Marines, are already gigantic. You're like, holy crap! This was all Terminators. Just stop. It's like nothing but mechs, right? It's like, this is awesome. So those are cool.
Yeah.
Famine just left. Do you have another thing here?
I haven't got it with me, but I bought a Dreadnought as well.
Thought somebody was at the front door. I do have one of the new 4-inch X-Wings. Haven't opened it up yet, but I'm very excited about that.
Wait, hold it back. It looks like a play school. Huh.
It's a simpler, slightly simpler
very
version, is it?
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think Pirate said it hasn't got a pattern on the underside. That's the only downside. But I mean,
that's fine. I don't need it to have a pattern on the underside.
Huh? How much was that?
$29.99.
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, cool. Yeah, nice one. That's cool. I don't have a single X-Wing. I don't think I've ever owned an X-Wing. They were always so big, and I never liked it because it's too iconic. But now I'm kind of like, I really want an X-Wing. Like, I've got a B-Wing over here. I've got 2 A-Wings. I've got the Interceptors. Oh, I insulted them so much.
Press the wrong button again. I never had an X-Wing either, so all of my big Star Wars stuff got sold. I'll have to dig out some photos of me playing in the snow with my AT-AT and everything. But,
oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Recreating.
I had an AT-AT, and I had I had the Falcon and everything else. But
there was so I don't actually watch a lot of toy content. I have 2 channels, right? I've got like a toy one, and then I had to take a break for a little while, so now I'm like slowly getting back into everybody's content. But on my normal channel, my other nerd channel, there's a video I've got saved where it's Modern Tactics recreating Hoth, and I was like, man, I wish I should have done that video for years. I've been saying the AT-ATs are terrible vehicles. They face forward, they have limited range of motion, a tank is fast, it has a rotating turret. Like, years I've been criticizing this. I'm like, they beat me to it. So I can't wait to watch that, but you just reminded me.
It's almost if a fast moving small vehicle was able to disable them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just underside. Yep. Y'all need X-Wings. Yeah, or we have swings, and we can use swings, or we need X-Wings.
Yeah, swings.
Famine completely disappeared. He's not even backstage. He's just gone.
Oh, he's gone. He's vanished.
He's gone.
Someone was at the door.
Yeah.
Can everyone check in with Famine? Is he okay? He's like, phew.
What button did you push now?
I couldn't say. I think I hit the leave button instead of the more button.
Okay. So whenever I go to, I log in as Dom sometimes to go to Toy Dom to share links, right? Instead of going from Toy Domination, I share it as Dom. But the share button is just above the unsubscribe. And I have unsubscribed myself so many times. I'm like, why are those 2 things next to each other?
Yeah.
So, so I
like rename and delete, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, printed a 3D X-Wing. Nice. If they did A-Wings and B-Wings in that style, I would be scooping them up. Like, I I'm usually like a bruiser type. Like I love like big chunky or like, Terminators. But when it comes to aircraft, A-Wings and TIE Interceptors are my absolute favorite. I love how just like, they're just guns and engines. I absolutely love it. So I want to watch Andor, but my wife falls asleep every time we watch it, and my kids are not interested. And I don't have any TV time to myself. So when I watch TV, it's only in the background. So I've been rewatching Venture Brothers over and over again.
Have you tried like the 70s method of setting up a separate family and having like two families so you can get more time to yourself?
Who's got the time for that? I barely have time for this one.
Who's got the income? Who's got the income?
Exactly. Yeah. Can't imagine. Y-Wing's always classic too. Did you see that Rad? I watched the video just this morning, and I meant to make a trolling comment, but I was driving to work. He had a ship. I was like, how dare you? How dare you make a ship? You would stay in the station area. The ships are my thing. It was pretty cool though. All these, like, he just took a bunch of like spare parts and cobbled it together and like basically greebled the ship out. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, man. So
it's very good. Yeah.
All right. So here's my pickup. So it actually just came in today, and I was pretty excited about them. I don't know why I'm setting. That was the voice I used when I usually have a gag. It's not a gag. It's a real thing here. So let's everyone calm down. But like the Kickstarter came in for the Armies of Ashmore figures.
Wow.
They're really fun. He-Man-esque. I did a video back in the day. They're really thick and bulky. It's the same.
Super chunky.
Man, you get some creatine just to pick these up here. So they're big chunky bruisers, same body skull for each one, but the head sculpts are just beautiful. And like I cannot hold two at once here, but this guy, he's missing part of his tail here. His face is all scarred up. Like they added a ton of, this little piece, it comes off, right? So he's got a little clip and it just clips on there. They're really fun. And this guy, I am absolutely gluing these in. These can all come off. Each one of the plates can go off here, but you can take off this getup and put on some shoulder pauldrons there, which is fun. Cool. And he actually sent the sample to me from Milwick, so we were least excited to open this one. He was like, I've already played around with this guy, but Milwick's fun because he comes with just the short neck, but the long neck is, and the way they package this is kind of clever. They put all the stuff on the sides of the box too there. So the neck piece is over there. And then Matt was such a nice dude. He actually, and I think it's because the boys specifically were like, I don't like the bright blue weaponries or whatever. So he threw in an armory pack that has, it's like bronze or copper. And I was like, oh, that's sweet. I didn't even know that was an option here too.
Yeah, cool.
So, nice. Yeah, they're really, it's a really, really fun line. And I also ordered the comic book, which wasn't in this. He said that those are coming out too. So I'm excited to be able to get the comic in print. Savage Crucibles just released their second trade. I'm excited to get that too. So I love just all the baked in lore and stuff that comes with it too. And the art and like it's just amazing to see how talented these people are and all the stuff they're doing. I'm completely envious. It's really cool. But yeah, these are really fun. Very cool. Really enjoy these.
Big giant dinosaur toys. You cannot go wrong.
Dude, yeah. It's a no-brainer.
If I was a kid, I'd love dinosaur toys.
So you and then Tristan. So Tristan's huge into reptiles. Anything reptiles, right? And amphibians too, I guess. But you were one of the reasons like we started getting more and more dinos in here. And now I have 2 milk crates because we found some at Joe Fest. We find them on sale at Target every now and then. So like we have they're not on the ship. Actually, that's not true. We started putting raptors on the ship as like intelligent, actually like talking aliens. But like we're building a 118th city that I haven't shown off because it is just absolutely bare bones. And then we have dinos, and like I'm looking around the room like in multiple places. And then he got hooked on Beast of the Mesozoic too. That's like his absolute favorite. Oh my god, those are so good. So dinos. Yeah, those are your saddle build. He was like, oh, I want to do that. So I actually gave him a bunch of like faux leather and stuff, and he wasn't happy with it, so he asked me not to ever show it. But I've been encouraging him trying to go back and do it again. So pretty cool.
Yeah. Cool.
But all right, cool. Well, gents, I think Adam, do you want to say it? You want to say it?
I think I'll tell you 2 things. We didn't talk about games, so we'll need to do that another time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And but I think we won toys.
I think we did. Famine, you agree?
I think we won toys. We don't have time though to do the Marvel trading card thing. That's
No, I think that was something we
didn't talk
wanted
games,
to do, wasn't it?
so we didn't talk the
That's
cards.
why we invited Dom on our show, wasn't it, Famine?
Yes,
Yeah.
just to talk Marvel trading cards. But I don't know. Like Joe's not here.